Krishna. So before moving forward, let's just revise whatever we have learned so far. So the very first thing we discussed is that we experience happiness from our senses, right? From senses only we are able to experience almost everything. We can know through our senses only that what is bad or what is good for us. Just like if you see a food, so when you taste it, just by tasting it, you will be able to know that whether that good tastes nice or it tastes bad. So for example, if the food has got it has been rotten, so just by tasting you'll be able to know it, right? So just like if you will see with your eyes, if you will see a beautiful scene, you will like it very much. But if you will see garbage, so you will not like it anymore. You will not like to see the garbage with your eyes, right? So just like that, from our senses we experience happiness. So yep, now we discussed that every living being has different consciousness. If you see a stone, stones do not have senses, thus they do not have consciousness, and they will not be able to experience anything because they do not have senses. Those are non-living beings. It is non-living, right? Stones are non-living. Now, one more important and very interesting topic I want to tell you is that every living being has different bodies, right? But you know the amazing thing? That every living being is satisfied in his body. Now, how to know that? If you will see an ant, if you will touch that ant, so you will see that ant will run away. Why? Because she is fearing that I might got hurt, or I might be died. So that's why she just starts running. She just starts to run. So it shows that she is so much satisfied with that ant body. There is also soul is there in that ant body also. But just see the difference of consciousness. Means what consciousness? I mean to say that every living being is satisfied with whatever body he has been gifted. It is not gift actually, it is a punishment. This material body is not a gift. So much suffering, but still see the false assumption of being that they feel so much satisfied. They don't want to leave this body. They just want to stay in whatever body they have got for whole life. Same you will see pigs. If you will hit a pig, then that pig will not be happy. He will not say, "Oh, thank you so much. You are hitting me, and now when you will hit me, I may be died, and when I will die, I may got relief from this pig's body." No, he will not say like this, or he will not in his mind. He will not think like that. That I want to get relief from this pig body. This pig body is so much contaminated. I don't like this body. No, he is so much satisfied with his pig's body. So every living being is satisfied with his body, and he is experiencing any happiness or sorrow, sadness according to their consciousness. So, if we will, if we think, if any, if we, of course, we will get this thing by getting knowledge only. But you'll see, if we think about it, this is only an illusion, that we feel happy by material things. You see, whatever we will do, no matter whatever we do, just like if you are eating your favorite food, but for how long will you be able to eat it? One point will come when you will get bored from it. Same as with the clothes. You see, whatever material thing we do, whatever, it can be anything, we often get bored from it. It can be anything. You just think about it, just meditate on this. You will get bored, no matter what. But when we practice spiritual activities, see, when I'm saying spiritual activities, that means we call it bhakti in Hindi. You might have heard this. So in bhakti, we never get bored. Of course, we in very beginning, we don't get that taste, that higher taste by practicing. When we do bhakti, we don't get that taste, but we don't get bored also. Why? Because bhakti is something which is not material. It is spiritual. And very interesting thing is that whatever material thing you will do, it will get destroyed by the time. But bhakti never destroys. It is eternal by nature. So one more example I want to give here of donkeys. You see, if you see a donkey, he carries very heavy bulk, right? It is actually like a punishment for him. You only see, if you will see any person, you might have seen groundmen who carries lots of bulk on their shoulders. You might have seen construction work somewhere. They carry lots of bricks on their shoulders. So they do it for the sake of earning some money, of course, but it's like a punishment only, na? They are suffering so much. They will not do it in free or as a service. They will not do it for anyone as a service. No one will do it as a service. It's like a punishment. Suffering, it's like a suffering. But see, that donkey thinks that it is an enjoyment for him. So see, this is low consciousness, that he's thinking that it is enjoyment. Oh, I'm carrying so much of bulk. Wow, I'm enjoying so much. But it is not at all enjoyment. It is punishment. But see, the level of consciousness, he's thinking that it is an enjoyment for me. Same you'll see if you have ever been to Shimla, at Shimla. Then even you have never been there, you might have seen in televisions that snowfall happens there. So you see, people throw snowballs on each other. Of course, they do it for the sake of fun, but for how long? For how long can they enjoy by throwing snowballs on them? It's actually hurting. They're hurting each other by throwing. They are thinking that we are doing it for the sake of fun, we are enjoying, but it is again not a nice thing. not a good thing that you're hurting anyone by hitting them with snowball. I remember when we often see these scenes in televisions, but when you experience this in practically when you will experience it, you'll see it really hurts. I remember I went Shimla, and I also thought that I will also do like this. Like my brother was there, so I planned this thing that we will also play that like this. We will also throw snowballs on each other. But it was actually hurting. And I was like, no, I don't want to play this. Just go. I don't want to play this. I just want to cancel this plan. So see, this is not enjoyment. So same thing, we took example of pigs, that their favorite food is stool. They really relish it a lot. If you will offer them sweets, they will not accept it. They will just deny, no, we don't want it. Because they have so much of low consciousness. So, yep. At the very beginning, we discussed these things, that beings experience happiness according to the level of their consciousness. Next thing, we discussed that everything is temporary here because this is material world, right? So you'll see, we took example of 2 crore rupees, that if someone will give you 2 crore rupees for 2 minutes, then you will not like it. You will not like to have those 2 crore rupees for 2 minutes. You will be like, no, I don't want it. Even, you will make your face like, am I the only fool one? You found only me to fool. What will I do of your 2 crore rupees for 2 minutes? So same thing is actually happening with us in our practical life. You see, we get things for some time, for just little time, and they are just snatched away from us like anything. Isn't it? We get all the things for some time, may it be anything, may it be any material thing or any of your family member, they can be anything. We get those things for some time and they are just snatched away from us like anything. So this is happening with us in practical life. We also took an example of goat, right? That slaughtered one. That one goat may see that another goat is being slaughtered. He will just go right on chewing grass, for he has no knowledge to understand that he may be next. That God is thinking that he is happy or she is happy, but at the next moment he may be slaughtered. So this is actually, see, whatever Prabhupada ji is telling, whatever example he is telling us, it is actually happening with us in our practical life. So you only see now with this goat example, what can you understand? What are you able to understand with this goat example? You are seeing that whatever your elder family member is being slaughtered. Slaughtered means they left their body. And we have no idea that after leaving this body, where the person is going. People even don't think about this, that why is this happening? We don't want to leave this body, we never want to die, but then also we have to leave this body no matter what. So this goat example is actually happening with us in our practical life. We are seeing our elder family members or any friend, any relative, they are leaving their bodies. But then also we are not questioning that this will happen with us also. This will definitely happen with us also. So see, that God does not have such consciousness to think about this thing. But we do have such consciousness. We can raise question. And after raising question, we can also work on getting its answer. Is it not? So, this should be understood. After this, you'll see, of course, we will discuss more things in details further. Next, we discussed that, we discussed in this sloka, in that joyous state, one is situated in boundless transcendental happiness, realized through transcendental senses. Now, what does transcendental senses mean? Just tell me one thing, that why are we sad? Let me tell you that transcendental senses means controlled senses. Okay? So why are we sad? Or why are we unhappy? Because of our uncontrolled senses. You see, our tongue wants to run away, to eat anything. Right? Our tongue wants to eat anything. We want to control our tongue because we know that if we will eat anything, then our body will not allow us. We will get sick. We might get sick if we will eat anything, anytime. But see, our tongue wants to run to eat this or that, whatever. Same way, our eyes want to see something always, this or that. Or if we talk about our tongue only, then our tongue also wants to speak anything rubbish. Is it not? Anything. Or same way, our ears wants to hear something, anything. So, are you able to catch this point, that our uncontrolled senses is the only cause of our sadness? You just think now, if our senses get in control, then we will not get in trouble. We will be peaceful, we will be in calm state all the time. But our senses always disturbs us. So you will see, please hear this thing very carefully. This is a very important point. You see that yogis do lots of sacrifices. They meditate, they stabilize their mind, to stabilize their mind, right? They fix their mind on one point, or they will practice Maun. You know Maun? They will be speechless. They will remain speechless for even years. Why? To control their senses. But you know what? What is the easiest way to control our senses? The very easy way to control our senses is to engage our senses in the service of Lord Krishna. And this is called Bhakti Yoga. You'll see, people practice, there are other certain ways also, and people do practice all those ways. There are many ways. You'll see in Gita also, Lord Krishna has told many other ways. You will see Gyan Yoga, you will see Dhyan Yoga, you will see Nishkam Yoga. There are many yoga, Ashtang Yoga. So there are many different ways, but The most easiest one and the most potent one is the Bhakti Yoga. Lord Krishna himself tells this thing in Bhagavad Gita. Bhakti Yoga is the most easiest and most potent one. And just think about this now. Meditating for years or practicing Maun, remain speechless for years. These things are really very tough. Putting dhyan on something, fixing your mind on one point or on light. These are really very tough. Right? These are very tough methods. One cannot practice these things for so long. And if he practiced it, then also you will see his senses will not get controlled very nicely. He will get bewildered. In scriptures, there are lots of examples for this also. We will discuss all the things further. I'm just telling you in summary here, in short, right now, that there are so many examples given of many great yogis who tried to control their senses, but then also they were helpless because they didn't engage their senses in the service of Lord. But one who followed this Bhakti Yoga, who engaged his senses in the service of Lord, he easily he was easily able to reach at that level. Transcendental senses. So this is really very nice thing. And this is really not an artificial thing at all. You might see all the devotees who are, chanting. We all are doing it from so many days, right? And we ourselves are experiencing so many transformations in our life. Is it not? We are experiencing it. We have been chanting from so long. We have been hearing all these scriptures. So, yep. This is for sure. Anyone who will follow this path, he will definitely experience transformations in his life. Controlling senses will be very much easy for him. One more thing I want to tell you is that, among our senses, tongue is the most voracious one. It is most voracious. But you will see, if we control our tongue, if we will control our tongue, our all other senses will get control will come in control very easily. Just if we control our tongue. So Srila Prabhupada ji tells us how to control our tongue. There are basically two main things to do with our tongue. Two practices we should practice every single day to control our tongue, which is very easy. That is chanting the great Hare Krishna Mahamantra, which is Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So this is the great Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Whoever will chant this mantra, you will see many miraculous things will happen in his life. We will hear lots of glories of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Don't worry. But yeah, first thing is to chant from our tongue this great Hare Krishna Mahamantra, which are the holy names of Lord. And second is to consume Krishna Prasadam. Now don't take Krishna Prasadam for granted. Just by doing these two things, you will see you will be able to control your tongue. And when you will be able to control your tongue, you will be able to control your other senses also. Because tongue is the most voracious one. Now what is Krishna Prasadam? Whatever you eat, of course, just avoid onion, garlic. So whatever you make in your house, just offer it to Lord Krishna. Make sure to put tulsi leaf. Just offer it to Lord Krishna and just consume it as, just honor it as prasadam, Krishna Prasadam. Make sure to, whatever you have offered, to mix it, mix that, offered food in the pots in which you cooked. Right? It will, when you will mix it, then that whole food in the pot will convert into prasadam. So you can honor that prasadam. See, this is my practical example that I want to share with you. There was a time when I used to eat sattvic food. Normal, very simple food that we eat, oil-free food and wholesome food, plant-based food. No chemicals or anything. So there was a time when I used to eat that food, but I was observing this thing that it was very much difficult for me to consume that simple sattvic food. It was very much difficult for me. In sattvic food you have to, like sattvic food which sattvic movement recommends. They follow vegan lifestyle and plant-based lifestyle basically. So you have to quit dairy and animal products in that. So I was following that lifestyle, but it was very much difficult for me to consume it. That very simple food. And actually, see, I'm not asking you all to consume oil-free food, of course. It is not needed. Whatever traditional food you are making, just make sure onion, garlic should not be there. So whatever traditional food you are making, that can be any matar paneer ki sabzi or aloo paratha, whatever you are making, just make it at home and just offer it to Krishna. Your food will get spiritualized after offering it to Lord. And you will see, just by practicing these two things, you will see a lots of changes in your consciousness. Gradually your intelligence will, your intelligence will get sharpened gradually just by doing these two things. Because these are not two things. These are not ordinary things at all. And of course, this is not a one-time process, of course. Let's understand this with an example again. If, for example, you want to plant a mango tree in your lawn, or whatever space you have, you want to plant a mango tree. So you will bury a seed, then you will water it every day. Then it's not like it will, it will grow in just one day. It is not possible. It will take some time, of course. Gradually it will grow. You will see first plant will blossom. Then it will take some years or months. Yeah, it might take some years to when it will grow in a big tree, and when it will give you mangoes, sweet mangoes. So this never happens in just one day or in few weeks. Same is with bhakti. Same is with bhakti. You will see when in starting we are chanting, it may seem tasteless that, oh, I'm not getting any interest in chanting, or I'm not getting interest in hearing these lectures. But you will have to keep patience. Because you will see the process that we are following, it has infinite benefits. Plus, it works very speedily. So I promise you, if you follow all the things regularly, just for a month, just for 1 month, you will see results in just 1 month. I'm not telling you to wait for years, but it is very much important to practice it every single day. You need to follow just 3 things. What? Just hear these classes every single day. Chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra every single day. Srila Prabhupadaji's instruction is to chant 16 rounds every day. Now, initially, I know it is very difficult to chant 16 rounds. We might remember our Nani Ma in just chanting 2 rounds initially. So we might think, oh, it is very difficult for me. How will I be able to chant 16 rounds? Even I used to, when I was told this thing, I was also very much, surprised that how will I be able to chant 16 rounds? OMG. I'm not able to chant 2 rounds properly, like with more dedication. Then how will I be able to chant 16 rounds? But you will see, gradually, when you will progress, it will become very easy for you. So initially, just chant 2 to 4 rounds and just increase it gradually. So chant this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Consume Krishna Prasadam and hear these classes. Just 3 things follow. You just follow these 3 things and you will see transformations will happen in your life. But very much important to follow it every single day. Okay? So this process is eternal. Are you grabbing what eternal really means? Eternal means for always. It's not like it is for just for some time. No, for always. So the benefit we are getting is infinite, plus it works very speedily. One thing we should understand is that we are souls, right? And our state is from very starting only, from the very beginning, our state is pure bliss. Our state is pure bliss from always. But because of the covering of this illusion of Maya, because of the covering of this Maya, this illusion, we assumes that our body is experiencing everything, and we are experiencing happiness, but it's not like that. And you will see, when we will gain knowledge day by day, when we will gain lots of knowledge, then only we will be able to understand this thing, that these material things are not satisfying me. I am putting my senses in these material things, but these are not satisfying me at all. This is just an illusion of my senses. And you can observe this by yourself. Whatever you are doing, you just experience that happiness for just little time, and then it just disappear. Is it not? It disappears. And you just think it's very tasteless. Just think, whatever favorite food you are consuming, you will not be able to consume it for long. Why? Because this is just an illusion, Actually, this is really an illusion of our senses that we are experiencing happiness. So we will be able to understand this thing by constantly gaining knowledge. Okay. After this, we also discussed one point here. See, one more thing, very important thing, just hear this very carefully. I want to tell you. We learned this, that we are eternal, right? And Lord Krishna is also eternal. We are actual person and Krishna is actual person as well. We are not formless. Our Supreme Lord is eternal. Our Supreme Lord is also not formless. We discussed this with examples. We have already understood this thing. So, just understand this thing. Krishna is eternal. Lord Krishna is eternal. So anything which we do, even it is material. But when we do it by connecting it with Lord Krishna, it becomes spiritual. Now how? We already understood example of the food, that whatever food we are consuming, it is material food. But when we offer it to Lord Krishna, so it becomes spiritual. Same way, whatever we are doing, just like if our ears wants to hear music, any music song, so hear Hare Krishna Kirtan. If you want to dance, if you feels like dancing, just dance on Hare Krishna Kirtan. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Just dance on it. Your dance will become spiritual. So, yeah. And there are many examples. If you are painting, if you likes to paint, just paint it for Krishna. Whatever, just connect it with Krishna. I'm not asking you to draw portrait of Krishna. Just connect it anyhow. Just connect it with Lord Krishna. It will become spiritual. So basically, why to connect? Idea is to remember Krishna. Whatever you are doing, remember Krishna. And now why am I telling you to do this? Because whenever we will practice all these things, when we do these things, it will become spiritual. And when it becomes spiritual, our heart purifies. Yes. Now why to purify our heart? Why there is need to purify our heart? Because you will see our heart is full of garbage. Garbage? What? What are you saying this? You are telling us that our heart is full of garbage? Yes, garbage means whatever you see, the envy, the greediness, the lust, anger, jealousy. These are actually the garbage of our heart. So how to clean this garbage? When our heart will get purified. And how to purify our heart? I've already told you, by connecting whatever you are doing, connect it with Lord Krishna, your heart will get purified. So yeah, if you want to hear something like you really love movies or you like to hear stories, so hear the pastimes of Krishna. If you really like to hear stories, you can tell me, you can text me, I will share you the link of the stories of Krishna. You can hear those stories. You will really relish it. I promise you. You might have heard pastimes of Krishna already, right? Krishna did many pastimes, many leelas. Krishna did many mind-blowing leelas. So just by hearing those leelas, you'll see your heart get purified. Now, just if we will turn this, so you will see any story that you have heard from so far. in your school time, in your college time, or maybe your Nani Ma told you any story before going to bed. So, did it ever purified your heart? No, right? Rather, you will see it has always become a reason of the covering of illusions on our heart. It has never purified our heart. Rather, it has covered our heart with more illusions, with more covering of illusions. So this is very important thing one should understand. That anything which we do by connecting with Lord Krishna, our heart purifies. And this is really practical thing. See, one more thing I want to tell you is that whatever Srila Prabhupada ji is telling are his own realizations. So he has already practiced all these things and then only he is telling all the things. And many devotees, there are many devotees, like endless devotees who practiced these things, and they just, they just won. They just, they were able to reach that stage. Our scriptures is full of all these things. You will get to know it. You might have already heard many of these things. You might have heard of Haridas Thakur, Lakha Hira, Ajamil. There are many persons you might have heard of. Dhruv Maharaj. There are many devotees. They were also like ordinary before, but when they followed this bhakti yoga, they became devotee. They became great devotee of Lord Krishna. Prahlad Maharaj, you might have heard of it. Putna. There are many pastimes of Krishna. You might have heard all these things. So yeah, I want to explain this thing with one more example to you. You might have seen, just for example, you see a mirror. There is a mirror and it is full of many layers of dust. Mud. Layers of mud. So there are lots and lots of layers of muds on it, on that mirror. So just for an example, if it has 500 layers of mud, for example, and if I have removed 50 layers from that mirror, 15 layers of mud from that mirror, so will you be able to catch this point? Just by seeing that mirror, will you be able to get this idea that whether the layers have been removed from that mirror or not? No, right? Same way, if I put more 50 mirrors on that mirror, more 50 layers of mud on that mirror, so then also you will not, just by seeing, you will not be able to get idea whether I have removed or whether I have added more layers or not. Same is applicable when we are doing bhakti. So you will see, when we are chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, when we are consuming Krishna Prasadam, or whatever, when we are doing, we are connecting it with Krishna, we are doing it by connecting it with Lord Krishna, then definitely our purification happens. Our heart purifies. But we will not be able to see it. Just by, just we took example of mirror, same is applicable on this bhakti process. Whatever spiritual activities you are practicing, you will not be able to see the changes, I mean, you will not be able to see whether your heart is purifying or not, but it is purifying. Every second it is purifying when you are doing anything by connecting it with Krishna. Basically, when you are doing anything by connecting it with Krishna, you are automatically putting your senses in service of Lord Krishna, because you are seeing connection of Lord Krishna in everything. And see, you will be able to experience this gradually only. And of course, many devotees who are already doing, they are already seeing this thing. That earlier we used to eat so much of outside food, but we now even don't think to go outside and eat any food. We don't feel like seeing any material movies now, right? Or we don't want to hear any filmy song now. Why? Because our heart is getting purified gradually, and you will see when we are getting higher taste, these low, cheap things, a taste of these cheap things we will automatically get detached from all these cheap things. These material things are actually cheap things. So we will automatically get detached from these things when we will get attached in higher taste. What is higher taste? Krishna consciousness. Is it not? So this is not a hand-to-hand process. You will not see this. You will not be able to see this immediately, but this works. So yeah, you don't have to put much of your mind in it. No need to put your much intelligence in it. Just use your intelligence and hear these classes every single day. That is it. You just have to do this. Don't put much of your mind in anything. Just follow whatever has been told to you. You will see transformations for sure. You will able to get this by this knowledge only. When you will hear, when you will gain lots of knowledge, then only you will be able to understand things nicely. So, alright, we will stop our discussion here. We'll continue in our next class now. Hare Krishna. Jai Srila Prabhupada.